Hello, guys. Welcome once again to another. I think the final. No, is it the final recap for the year? No, I think we're gonna also have on 31st ninth. Welcome, guys, once again to another recap of Love and Marriage Huntsville, and today we're gonna be talking about episode 30. And I think these seasons are becoming too long for me. Because why are we in episode 30 for a season and we'll still get another season next year? I don't know what Carlos is thinking actually, but it's fine by me. Anyways, um, for today's episode or yesterday's episode, I felt like it was more of so much of nothingness and so much of everything. Because at one moment I was confused on what was going on, what was what were they saying, the situation of things, because they were bouncing off different topics at different times. I was really confused by the episode. I don't know if that's how you felt on the episode.
Yeah, it was like a show within a show. I think it went from they had the plan of doing the bonding activity, and then it transitioned to Martell finding the opportunity to vent his frustration, and just go on and on and on. And then Nell and I think she mentioned that that whole bonding activity was just kind of scrapped because then it transitioned into real life instead of just a reality TV show.
Exactly. Well, let's go ahead. But before we go ahead, I'm just gonna say something. This guy here, right here today, really pissed me off in today's episode. He pissed me off with his healing um eyes because he said he did surgery on his eyeballs because he felt so. I don't know. I don't want to say much, but he was like really frustrating to me. I'm just gonna put it out there. He frustrated me so much in today's episode. A lot of things was said that I did not need to know, was unnecessary for me to hear. But he thought to himself like, I think I need to just say this. It was unnecessary. Well, we started this episode by the team building stuff. And my question was, did you feel like Nell and her husband Chris were being shady? Because if I can remember, I think 2 episodes before, Nell literally went to them and said, I don't want this trip to be a thing about versus um Martel versus Melody or Melody versus Martel. I want it to be a trip that everybody would have fun. And that was why she asked for a bedroom very far from him. Why would they ask them to play a trust game and you ask Martel and Melody to be partners? I still don't get the um the logic behind this because you could have easily just said, I'm not gonna do this. Let's not play this. Or Melody and Martel, you're excused from this. I still don't get why they asked them to play this game. And I love the way Melody did. She was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna play, but she went to the ground herself. And he coming forward and being like, oh, I'm your baby daddy, so catch me. Like, I don't understand. The same baby daddy that you're saying that she should trust as you are baby daddy that is trying to leak things about her that's not supposed to be outside. I didn't understand why the Fletchers would ask Melody to play this game at all. It was giving me shady. It was unnecessary. They could have just excluded her from this whole stuff. If nobody was there to play the trust game with her, if nobody wanted to play the trust game with her, they could have excluded her automatically from the game. That's how I did feel because she had already told them earlier on, I don't want this trip to be about me and Martel. And it ended up being about her and Martel, which could have been avoided if they just listened to her.
Yeah, I agree. It was clear that they wanted the sparks to fly by pairing them up together. And, things could have taken a dangerous turn though, because the way he started yelling and he was getting so angry and animated. And they could have paired her up with Tisha because she and Tisha have had some issues. They
Exactly.
could have paired Martell up with Marceau because they had a little rift earlier. I think when they met at his house one day and the Chris Fletcher was there, they had some issue, but it was produced. They wanted the interaction with the two, and they got it. And I didn't really like it because I don't know. Do you remember when they went to Las Vegas a few seasons ago and how that didn't go too well when the two of
Yeah.
them? Yeah. It just kind of was like, oh, I hope that this doesn't go in that direction because that Vegas, that was very uncomfortable. But yeah, you're
Very.
right. I like how she played it. She didn't, give into it. And then when they moved out into the kitchen, then, that was his opportunity to project. It just seems like he's trying so hard to paint her out that she did something and that's why he did what he did. I think that's what he's probably has conditioned himself to believe at this point. Oh, I did what I did because you did this first. And it seems like that's what he wants to try to make people think, and he's probably convinced himself of that.
I, I do feel like because the way the way he kept on saying that in today's episode, um, you don't know how did he say you nobody asked me what she did, and I'm like, if she really did something that was worthy enough for you to have divorced her, you Martell that I know would have been the first person ringing it out, ringing the alarm, telling every one of us that Melody did that. But you kept quiet and allowed it stay. So why now, after how many years of divorce, a change of name, that you then decide that okay, now is when I want to come up here and say my peace of mind? Literally, I don't care. That was a statement that kept on saying all through my throughout this discussion. And I don't know whether you didn't notice this. I there's something, you know, that's called accountability. I literally didn't like Letitia right here because Letitia is one person that is always the preacher of don't come for my marriage, don't talk about my man, don't talk about me and the relationship I have with my man. But she's the first person that always wants to put her own one sense when it comes to other people. I don't know whether you got when she asked Masao a question because it looks like Masao was trying to be in support of Melody when she was like, have you ever asked him what Melody did to him? Did you catch that question Letitia threw to Masao, her husband?
Yeah, and I have to give him credit because he seems to be very conscientious about um, Melody and Martell in regards to trying to maintain some peace. I wouldn't say that
Yes.
Marcel, yeah, he doesn't seem to ever like agitate their situation. He seems like he
Mhm.
does try to find a peaceful resolution or finds a way to try to make sure things don't get too out of hand. But yeah, I did catch that. I don't remember verbatim how she worded it, but yeah, I do remember that. It was interesting.
I felt like, why are you asking that question? Why, if it was you now and Melody did that about you, you would take it to the extreme. The whole world will know how Melody is coming for your marriage, how Melody is such of a hater, how Melody is questioning your life, but you can do it and it's okay. Like, I think at this 2014, I think they should just learn, do unto others what you want to be done unto you. If you don't want something to be done to you, don't do it to another person, so as not to be surprised when it gets done to you. Because what's the meaning of, have you asked Martell what Melody did to him? Didn't you watch everything play out? Were you blind? Even with the viewers, we could see how everything did play out. And now just because he's like, oh, you don't know what Melody did to me. I think what I did say was that he was trying to I think he saw a moment and he's like, you know what? Melody has been doing great for herself. Her life has been moving in the way that he never did expect or expected her life would have moved after the divorce. And now it's like, you know what? If I could put a dent into that, that clean sheet that she has going on for herself, I would humbly do it. Not because he wants everybody to know that Melody is this or that. I just feel like he just wanted to put a dent on her name, you know, so as to get people second guessing her and he'd be like, yes, I got what I wanted. Probably he feels like, allegedly, and in my own opinion, probably if he does that or if he does this, her business might probably maybe calm down or something. That is how I did feel. And that's what I felt like that was what made him bring up this um conversation. Because why are you bringing it now after how many years? And I feel like no, everybody here should have asked the question, that same question. And kudos to Nell, because Nell stood her ground. Because what's the meaning of why was Martell asking her, why are you supporting Melody? Like I feel like it's upsetting to him that the Fletchers has never chosen a side like how the Scots did choose a side. I think that is he feels like he's this, you know, guy that everybody's supposed to be, attracted to, everybody's supposed to listen to him, everybody's to be on his side. Now he's having the Fletchers stand by, support Melody, be at every event she's hosting. You know, they are literally the only family on this cast that Melody invites to special events, to special programs that she hosts, and nobody else. So it pisses him off that amongst this friend group and amongst this cast, she still has people that stands by her back, and I feel like he has tried. He has tried everything he can by words or any form to try to make them change their reasoning about Melody, and it has not worked. That's just how I felt that he has tried.
Very good point. Yeah. And I believe Mel did make that comment that she said that he thought that, like you had said, that if she did not do well outside of him, then she would have to come back. And that didn't
Mm-hmm.
happen. Right. She has had tremendous success. And, he sees it playing out in real life. And it's just like, and like you said too, if he could say these negative things, perhaps that could tarnish her reputation and then she won't do so well. It's just never know what's going on in his mind. Like, why? And the stuff is so old. Like you said, that this is old stuff. And like you said, it
That's
just
the
seemed like this
thing.
is my opportunity now. Oh, and he just yelling and screaming. And I didn't like how he was yelling at Nell. And Chris
No.
stood there. Okay, I know this is a
Mm.
TV show, but come on, Chris. Come
Come
on.
on.
It just
That
went
like
too far.
that was disappointing to watch. That was disappointing to watch. But a friend of mine, because we're discussing about the episode, and I was like, I didn't like the way that Chris um stood and watched his wife got shouted on by Martell when he was right there. And my friend was like, probably Chris knows his wife and he knows that his wife can stand on her ground, that there is no way Martell would ever win her over. So he knew that, she got this. She has it. So I'm just going to allow her show that, that power she has. That was how she explained it. And I was like, okay, I'm saying it in a different perspective. But when I watched the show directly, I was like, I didn't like this for Chris. He disappointed me. But when I discussed it with my friend, and I was like, okay, let me see it in this light that probably he knew his wife. Of course, he knows his wife. He knows what she's capable of. So he's like, you know what? I know that she's able to stand her ground. I know she's able to, you know, you're not going to win her off just like that. So he knew that she could stand toe to toe with Martell. And I don't think Martell also liked that she was standing toe to toe. She wasn't backing down when he came to what she was saying to him. because like Nell was so literally his dodge like if I don't leave you, I'm gonna headbutt this guy. I was like, thank God she walked out. And we got the scene when she literally went to meet Melody and was like, Melody, what's going on? Did you cheat? Martell has been going around saying you cheated on him. And Melody was like, yeah, even if I did after we were separated. Now, this was a topic because on Twitter, when the episode was airing, this was like a big topic. Was it cheating because they were still married but separated and they were not divorced? What's your own opinion on that? Do you think that she did cheat because at that time it was just a separation? They didn't really file that divorce like, yes, I'm divorced from you, but it's just a separation thing. And later on, she came back to him. Did you feel like that would also count as cheating?
Yeah, that's a tough one. And I've heard different people say that as well, that, oh, well, they were still married. Yeah, technically they were still married, but she was no longer in the home and they were no longer together.
Uh-huh.
And I think you said that no, they had not, they filed for separation or they were just separated? Were they legally
They were,
separated or just not together?
they were separated. She moved houses, stayed
Was
on
it
her
like,
whole own.
yeah, I don't know how to answer that question. It's like a catch 22. It's a catch 22. But I think he's using that technicality to try to make her look
Yeah.
bad. Yeah, by saying, "Well, you did the same thing that I did." Like, no, I didn't do the same thing that you did. But he has to try to,
And
convey that message to the public that, yeah, she's not
yeah, and
innocent. Look what you did to me.
and did you see the way his face changed up when they were having that argument? When she literally pointed out that the breaking point for her before the separation was when she literally caught him in the car with the said baby mama.
Yes. And at the time when the show first came on years ago, we didn't know who the person was, right? So I'm sure everybody
Yes.
kind of had their image of who this woman was. And now, fast forward, so we see who it is. We've seen her go live. Got a glimpse of what her personality may be like. And it's just like, it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make it. And then remember when he was at Nell and Chris's house and he's like, she satisfies me. And when Mel threw the glass, and it's just like, you
Mm,
chose this over what you had at home. It's just, I guess, as being a woman, I don't understand the mind of a man, but you see it happen all the time. The people that they cheat
yeah.
with, always seems to be a downgrade, and
Mm-hmm.
they seem to be much more comfortable. I'd rather have this situation than have what I have at home. Maybe it's just a temporary thing, but now that we've seen this person, we're like, this is who you just kept going to see. And didn't he have like a back problem or something? I think she told a story that his back was hurting him and he was crawling on the floor to try to get to
Yeah.
his phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is who he was just involved with. It's amazing.
I don't think he himself he envisioned for them to be in this position. I think if you had told Martel when he was having his rendezvous with his mistress at that time, that year, if you had told him that by the year 2023 or the year 2022, you will no longer be with you will no longer be with Melody. Melody would have divorced you. You guys would have had a divorce, and she would have been living a good life minus you. I don't think Martel would have believed it.
So you think
And
that
and
he
I
probably didn't think that things were going to go this far with the person he was messing with, that he just thought it was like just a little fling?
no, I think some men can be funny. They could take this fling for years, years and years and years. Even he could have even had more kids with this alleged mistress. But what me I was saying that I think he thought he had this control that he could hold the two of them down, hold both the mistress down to stay at her point, stay at her lane, then also control the front at home and make sure that Melody stays with him and they live this beautiful, happy married couple life with the M&M kids. I think that was what he thought, that he could hold the both of them down, live his life, and still be happy, eating his meat and having it. So that's how I think, or in my own opinion, that he was thinking. Because truthfully, he knows that he didn't do a great job. Because why do you keep on antagonizing? Why do you keep on every if you look at every move, every action, everything that Martell has done since the beginning of this divorce, how many years ago? If you look at every move he has done, strategically or otherwise, it has always ended at the point of, I want to frustrate Melody's life. I want to make her have it's like I want to make you have a rethink, right? Of thinking like, what, I think this is going to be hard for me. It's going to be better for me to just stick to coming back to this guy, on being in this marriage. Every move he has made, he has one way or the other looked for a way, trying to, like, frustrate her life. Every single move. On every chance he gets at the side, he tries to, like, we always had good times, we can still go back to having those good times. He always tries to chip that in. Try to remind her of the good times they had. So for me, I feel like he never thought that in the year 2023, he was going to be divorced from Melody. Melody was going to move on from his life. Melody was going to live a life good for herself without him attached to her and still enjoying life to the fullest. And I don't think he had ever envisioned that. I don't think he has ever seen that thing like, yes, that's going to happen in my life. So I feel like he thought he could eat his cake and have it.
Yeah, and I think someone said the word narcissist, and he said something too. And I thought to myself, that's a word we keep hearing all the time that people are always using to describe him. But I like the point that you made about him trying to do everything he can to frustrate her life. And do you think that he does that because he thinks that somehow in the future that she's going to come back to him? Do you think that's what he's thinking?
I think in his Dululu mind, like, because that's the only thing that I think was going on. Because how will you be delusional to think that Melody will come back to you? How? Like, look at how she lives her life. She's traveling. She has peace of mind. Her business is thriving. Why would she want to come back to somebody that literally will give her heartbreak, and she would be scared every time you go out or stay out late or go out unnecessarily? Why would she want to have that for herself? I just think in his delusional mindset, and his narcissistic self, he thinks that, if sometimes people that are like that, they think that in their own kind of thought, if I should frustrate you enough, you might think, what, I don't think it's worth it. Let me just go back to my old situation. I think that is what he's thinking. I think that is his mindset, and I think he just moves along with that. So when I heard today's episode, he was like, "You cheated on me." I said that's the same way Martel is. He always wants to make the viewers, because he believes that if I could make the viewers hate Melody in one shape or form, then she doesn't get all this likeness she gets, because everybody who doesn't know that Melody is the fan favorite amongst all the whole castmates. Nobody has a fan base like she does on the show. In short, on all the whole, um, you know, franchises of Love or Marriage. Talk about DC, Detroit, and then any other one they brought out. She is still the best amongst all of them, the biggest fan base amongst every one of them, and she has been able to, you know, bring, put out that fan base and transferred into her businesses and everything she does. She tried to merge them together. She's very sensible. She's a very good businesswoman, and and more. So she has done that
Exactly. And
for
and
herself.
exactly. And it's just, and so that's why I was saying earlier that when you said he probably never thought, fast forward 2023, that things would be the way they are now. And now that we know who the person is, that he decided to jeopardize the comfortable lifestyle that he had with a woman who he knew, he knows her, smart,
Yeah.
intelligent, uh, an entrepreneur, just savvy with everything that she does. How could you decide to select this other person? Now that we know who the person is, now we don't know her personally, but the things that we've seen from her, it's just there's like no comparison. Why did you jeopardize so much for so little? And now, as you said, I forget the word that you used. It was so clever how you explained it. How did you phrase it? Oh, frustrate. Now purposefully, I'm going to try to frustrate your life, try to turn the fans against you. It's not working. And now that it's just too late. Like the stuff that you keep trying to do. Say that again.
I'm like, yeah, it's too late.
Yeah, but I like the point that she said that he feels that, if he could, if the successes that she's having, and he could stop that, then
Mm,
she would, like, why would I come back to what? What is there to come back to?
I don't know.
What does he have
That's
to
what I get.
offer?
I don't know whether he has good friends because I believe if you have good friends,
You said good
it,
friends.
yes, exactly. Because I know that there are some decisions I want to take, there's some things I want to do, and when I have chats with my friends, they'll be like, mm, this is not normal. Are you okay? You
Right. Who
know?
is advising him?
Exactly. Who are those friends that stay by his side and be like, yeah, yeah, Martell, good job. Kudos. You're doing it. Like, how would you talk? Didn't he overthink it? Like, fine, okay, fine. Melody has 1,000 fans. And you think that when I come, I'll be like, oh, Melody cheated on me, and we'll be like, yeah, we're switching up from Melody, we're going to Martell. In what world did he sit down, think about that before he came for this trip and decided that yes, that's my aim?
Right.
Like,
So you feel as though he was waiting for the opportunity to give that
he
speech.
waited, like the way he entered that conversation, it was like, this is my chance, my opportunity. I need to grab it because what look at the way he entered into the conversation. Masao and Melody was having a chat about, because Melody was like, you know what, I don't understand this Kiki stuff. I didn't know that Kiki was gonna be here, this kind of stuff. And Masao was trying to explain a situation and be like, this. Why did he butt in? He didn't even allow Masao to even explain to her, because till now I don't even understand what Masao was saying. He didn't allow Marcel to finish the explanation or finish where he was going to, and he just, you know what, yeah, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? And before you know, he overtook the conversation, he overrode the conversation, and he ran with it.
Yes, and he positioned himself right in front in the middle of everybody. And there he went.
Exactly.
Yeah, you had probably rehearsed it. You think he rehearsed it?
Watching the whole, I was like, yeah, this guy was just like, I'm just gonna look for any single opportunity, like just get it and I will run with it and I will make it stick. That was what I thought was going on, because I was like, yeah, yeah, I don't care. Just like I don't care you also cheated because now you're divorced. I don't care anymore. You are living your life now with your mistress, or whether not with your mistress or whoever you're living your life with. I literally don't care anymore because you're divorced from Melody. Just like I also would not care if something else comes up, like, oh, Melody, you are all divorced. At least everybody can live their life separately now. She did it, she did that, you did it. Everybody has moved on. Like let's all move on. And I think that's the problem with this group. They don't want to move on from this conversation.
They have nothing else to offer. The rest of the group, what do they have to offer? Because their
They
stories are suspect.
real. And
Yeah, so,
they
and
don't want.
they understand that these two are the driving force. If we can create conflict with these two, then the rest of us, don't have to conjure up anything else. Because what else do they have to offer? This Kimmy and Maurice foolishness. Those two are so not needed on this show. And I'm just tired of it. It's just like, why do they keep talking about this stuff? They're so dry. And then Marceau and Tisha, I like Marceau. I think he's funny. But Tisha, poor
Yeah.
thing, that pregnancy thing, it was so sad. She was trying to pull that out. And then this whole cheating. Like, dude, does anybody believe that she cheated?
Nobody believes. No,
Nobody believes. Sorry,
nobody.
Tisha. Nobody believes that. But I'm sorry.
Mm,
Continue. I'm enjoying your breakdown. Continue.
nobody believes. I felt. See, Melody is a better person. I'm not gonna lie. She's better than me, really. Because I know that if it was me, after how many years of divorce, after I have changed my name, I've literally erased you from my life. My question would be, I would have been asking you this. Why are you bringing this up now? That would be my question. I won't even try to justify anything, whether I cheated or not. I would not try to justify. In short, I won't. Melody was even explaining. I was like, why are you explaining? Like my question would have been, why the f are you bringing this up? Because we are over. I have literally changed my name back to Rogers. So what the hell is your problem? Why are you talking about this? Because I wanted to get the fact. Okay, fine. If Melody did cheat, right? She did cheat. And let's just say we classify it under the umbrella of cheating. Okay, she cheated. What else? What is gonna happen? Is it gonna bring you money? And I feel like this season Martell has been with no storyline, quite an embarrassment for the season. I can't count how many times I did see Martel on my screen, and he wasn't missed. So I felt like he decided that, you know what, I just want to bring a banger. Everybody has not really been seeing Martel. Let me show them who Martel really is. And why can't you have a storyline apart from Melody? Melody comes on the show, try to associate with other people, talk about her business. Why don't you talk about your business? Why don't you talk about your moving on right now? She always talks about how much she's moving on from the marriage, or those things that is showing that she's moving on from you and the marriage. Why aren't you doing the same thing? That's it. Why are you not doing the same thing? Why are you stuck on it? And we're going to see for somebody that claim that she cheated on you and you feel hot. Why are you trying to get her back? Because that would be the that was a preview for next week's episode, right? You want to
Yeah,
be
that
in a
I saw that preview. Yeah, that was silly. But yeah, yeah, that didn't make any sense either. I guess maybe they feel that maybe the producers of the show feel that the fans want to see some interaction between the two. That's the only thing that I can think of, that they keep trying to pair them together.
because my question is, why would you do all those things after this whole ranting, after the whole shouting? You still go to her and be like, I want a moment of peace. And you ask yourself a question, why does Melody not trust me? My hmm. He should, I just, like I said, he's delusional a lot. His delusions is very, very thick, because only your actions alone will let you know.
Yeah, and it's like, didn't
And
he
I
get what he wanted? You're with you're free to go and be with that person.
exactly,
So go be happy. Leave me alone. You
exactly,
could not
that's
stay
not the
away from that.
problem.
Yeah, couldn't stay away from the person. Back pain. I think that's how the story went. And you're crawling to try to get to a
Even during
phone.
COVID.
Yeah, thank you. And now you have the opportunity to just go be with this person 24/7, but that doesn't seem to be enough.
You were during COVID, you were risking being sick, risking infecting your own family. You risked everything just because you wanted to be with this person. Someone would think you're so much in love with this person. So now you've been given the opportunity to have fun without judgment. What's your problem now? Go have fun. Go enjoy yourself. What's your problem? So what's the use of everything at the end of the day? What's the use of everything?
I think someone had put in
It
one of
does.
the comments, they said misery loves company. That's what someone had put placed in the comments under one of those videos. I think the one from last week. Misery loves
Yeah.
company.
And like I said, when Martell does things to frustrate Melody, sometimes he ends up shooting himself in the foot. Because even till today, I still don't understand why he asked the judge not to for judge to grant that the M&M kids will not be shown on
Yeah, that
TV,
makes no sense.
social
Yeah.
media. Till today, I don't understand that logic. I don't still get what is going on because every other cast member on the show, all their kids appeared on the show when necessary. It's not every time, but when necessary, they did appear on the show. And for me, when I saw that thing, I'm not gonna lie, in my own opinion, what I thought, I was like, okay, he knew that every time Melody wanted to release a new product, she names it something about the M&M kids. She comes on live on Instagram and she's, whenever they are with her, she puts them in their video. They are acting goofy, they are acting cheeky, they are playing, having fun like a family should, and people are loving it. He feels like, wow, she's profiting from this. Like her business is going forward. People are buying. People wants to tap into that stuff, and that's why I said Melody is such a great businesswoman. She knows how to merge things that are in her life. She knows what she has. She knows how to use what she has to get what she wants,
Right. Did you
and
see the I'm sorry, go ahead.
she's done an absolutely good job about it. What did you want to say?
Did you see the Christmas photo?
I did.
Did you see how big they are? That
Oh
little
my
one?
God. I saw them. I was like, wow, it has really been a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know? I used to think to myself, Martell doesn't have a storyline right now that is on the show. But let's be truthful to ourselves. If those kids were in the picture, if those kids were allowed to be on TV, if those kids were allowed to be on Instagram or whatever, do you know that Mattel would have been able at least to use them as a storyline, like showcase how good of a father he is to them? Even if, yes, I was a shabby husband, I was not a good husband, but at least I'm a good father.
Yeah, they could have
That
shown him doing
storyline,
activities with the kids,
yes.
taking the son to the site when he went to the when he went to dig up the dirt or
Mhm.
whatever he did, showing him
I
how to
can
use
remember,
tools to,
I
build
remember
things. Yeah.
few before this stuff happened, he always, whenever they came to his place, he always go on Instagram. He shows us how they are having fun. People loved it. People literally did love it, and he ruined it for himself. And he found out that he also, somebody always told me something: when you are aiming at somebody, remember there's also a reflection. It might bounce back at you. So don't be thinking that I am aiming at this person, it's going to only aim at this person. Also think that one way or the other is going to reflect and bounce back at you. And that's what happened. He thought that if he did this, I'm going to ruin Melody's business. I'm going to reduce her profit margin. I'm going to, she's not going to sell as she used to do. What did he do that? No. Does she still brings out products in the name of the children? Yes. Does she still sell out? Yes. It did not affect Nothing. Whether so it I think maybe he now realized that it's not about the kids being on Instagram with her that made her sell. It's just how good of a businesswoman she was, and she knows how to do her things. And I just feel like he needs to learn some things and probably go back to the drawing table. We're entering into a new year. Probably he should go back to the drawing table and ask himself rather, what did I actually achieve in the year 2023? What was my mistakes? What was the things I did wrong? If there are ones that can be rectified, if there are ones that can change, I think he should go back to the drawing table, go back and try to change those ones that can be changed. Then the ones that can't be changed, at the end of the day, you just have to move on with life and try to make better decisions. I think that's the best for him because truthfully, looking at Martell and looking at Martell that I knew when Love and Marriage Huntsville started, I used to look at myself and be like, yes, this is hope. But now I look at him and I'm like, it's just a shell of himself, truthfully. And that's embarrassing. To see somebody at his peak at a certain time, then look at him now and you're like, what happened? What exactly happened? So I feel bad for him. Some way I feel bad for him. But anyways, moving on from Mel and Martell, let's go on to Kiki.
Yes, yes. Let's talk
Yes,
about
yes, let's
this.
talk about man. And she came in like, yeah, I'm in the building. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like a rock star.
My God. I was like, no, Kiki, that's not the energy. That's the wrong energy, babes. That's the wrong energy. You say you come in apologizing, you're there in an apologetic mood and everything, but you literally came in like, yeah, a rock star, a celebrity that was coming to see her, her fans. That's not it. That's already canceling the I come in here in an apologetic manner. That didn't make sense. And I was surprised when with the way she came in hot, blazing hot. When I started hearing her saying, and I apologize to you guys for, I was like, really, with the energy you came in, I thought she was gonna be, you know what, I don't care for any of you. I'm just gonna be here, have fun. Anyhow you want to behave, that's to you. But you came in and started apologizing with that energy. And I feel like people read off the energy from the beginning when she came in. And so many people didn't like that. And when she did apologize, and the fact that after Nell was like, you can't stay here, she was like, I'm not gonna allow you guys to take to where I was gonna stay. I was like, green. Hmm. Wow, I love this energy for Kiki. I do love this energy for Kiki.
Yeah, but I didn't
How did you feel?
understand it. I mean, it was just like, okay, Nell knew that Nell had spoken to her on the phone, knew that she was coming. Then as soon as she gets there, I told you, I told them, or whatever she said about you're not going to be able to stay. Huh? You knew she was coming. You talked to her on the phone. Now that she's here, yeah, Fletcher's been. I don't know. I don't know about Nell. Is she? Do you think she's doing a whole lot of acting? Maybe
Oh,
she.
the
This
tear.
is
I was like, why is she crying?
the crying, and maybe she's kind of torn with this whole reality TV stuff because the producers are probably telling her to do this, and so maybe it's difficult for her to bring it about because she knew Tiki was coming. So she had to, she had the phone conversation with her. Then supposedly you don't tell your husband until the next morning that Kiki, well, to this scene where we saw them setting up. Now you tell him that she's coming. Then when she gets there, oh, you're not going to be able to stay. Huh? She just got there. And now she's not going to be able to stay. Get the story straight now. Something's not right.
Yeah, I'm one person that I don't like. invite me for holiday, then kick me out. It doesn't make sense. Don't invite me. Tell me you're not invited. Understandable. But I didn't understand why you asked her to come over. Then you're like, I'm kicking her out because the others. You knew that they were not in good terms. The only person that's at that moment, or people at that moment that was able to accommodate Kiki was only Melody and Stormy.
And Martell didn't seem to have a problem with her being there.
Yes. Then considering the even that the ratio is not making sense. So I felt like she knew that it did not make sense for her to bring them. But like you said, probably the producers told her to do it. And she
Yeah.
did.
And
Because for me, when
they
she
needed
started
her
crying,
there to create some conflict. They needed her there.
yes.
Right.
When she started crying, I was like, oh no, no,
And
no,
did we
no,
see any
no.
tears? Did we see any tears? We need to go back and see if any tears fell from her eyes.
You see any tears? And that's why I didn't. I don't know if any other person saw, but I didn't at all. I didn't see any
Because she
tears.
put on a
But
real performance.
yeah. But what ticked me off was when she said when she mentioned Melody's name. And one thing I thought was that probably when they were having the phone call between Kiki and and Nell, probably Kiki mentioned Mel's name. Allegedly, in my own opinion, I feel like probably Kiki mentioned Mel's name. Now, this is where I just, I've been waiting for this Houston trip because there has been a lot of gossips, a lot of rumors, a lot of everything on this Houston trip, on the streets of YouTube, everywhere. People who are alleging this happened, this happened, this happened. So I really wanted to watch this Houston trip to literally know exactly what did happen. I really wanted to watch it.
And we still
And
don't know exactly what happened.
I'm not gonna lie, I was disappointed because if it was what I did watch, what exactly happened? Because for me, nothing did happen.
Exactly.
For me, I felt like Kiki got her feelings hurt. You know, yes, people get feelings hurt. You're not gonna be the first person. Move along. I feel like her feelings got hot and things blew out of proportion. Because what the whole gossip on the streets, the alleged story on the streets was that probably Mel did something that was out of character or out of, something that could be judged and towards Kiki. Now, watching the show, watching everything play out, nothing. The only thing Mel did was when she did tell, I think, like, done it so many times. Like, okay, there was a wedding. I remember there was a time I was invited for a wedding, and a friend of mine was not invited for that same wedding, and we were all in the same friend group, but her and the person like literally fell out for some reason. And I was like, oh, I got invited for this stuff and everything. And she was like, oh, I'm surprised I didn't get. But I already told her. And I feel this is the same situation because a lot of people were coming online saying that this is an invitation. And I'm like, this is not an invitation. What happened in this scene was not an invitation. What happened here was a friend telling her other friend saying, oh, by the way, we're going for this trip, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you were not invited? And she was like, oh, probably she was like, oh, I want to be invited. And Melody has no right to invite Kiki. It's not her place. It was never her event. She didn't plan it. It was not her vacation. Why would she invite Kiki? So she did the best thing. She referred her back to Nell and said, probably you should have a chat with Nell to see if she would invite you for the trip. Which was what else did people think she was going to say? And a lot of people were arguing online saying that this was an invitation, that Melody invited her. I'm like, for me, it was not an invite. I don't know. Probably to you, did you feel like this was an invite from Melody to Kiki to come for the Houston trip?
No, I took it as though she was telling her essentially, if you want to go, you need to talk to Nell about it. Yeah, it's not for her. It was supposed to be, in quotes, Nell and Fletcher's trip. So how can she invite someone else to go? But back to the whole Nell thing, the and of course we didn't see everything, but why did she mention Mel's name in the kitchen? The little story that Nell is telling, some we're missing something, because did you notice that once they got into the kitchen, yeah, and she talked to Mel. Did you hear her say that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She mentioned
Yeah,
Mel's name.
it kind of gave us the impression that she's trying to say that Mel is the one who told her to come. I
That
don't
was
know.
the thing. I didn't understand that.
Okay, so you got that impression too. That's this. They were
I
hearing two
did.
different stories of how she ended up on that trip.
Exactly. But I put it in this way. Like I said, I feel like, yes, in one aspect, I'm like, probably Nell was trying to shift the blame from herself to Melody, or two, probably Kiki did mention Melody's name when she was having the chat with Nell.
See,
And with Nell hearing that Melody was involved, she's like, okay, if Melody is okay with it, I guess probably we can, come to a compromise and be like, okay, we come to this event, come to this vacation. That's the two scenarios I put in my head. Either she was trying to push the blame on Mel, or probably Kiki did show Mel's name when she was having the chat with Nell. That's the scenario I have in my head.
yeah, that sounds about right. Maybe she said, Mel told me to call you. Maybe that's what she had
Uh-huh.
said. But still, Nell was just doing too much in that
Yeah.
kitchen, all that yelling and screaming. But you're
She
right.
she
There was
was
no
really.
resolution. And we went from Kiki showing up, to Tisha walking out. Tisha, of course, was visibly upset, and I can understand it. The look on Marceau's face said a lot too. And then, you know, uh, Tisha went ahead and said, okay, like, she's, oh, I'm sorry. Okay. And Tisha just left it alone. I really applaud Tisha for that, that she didn't even give her that back and forth, because Kiki needed to have that conflict. Of course, for her relevance to be on the show, she needs to have that
Mm-hmm.
conflict. All the stuff that you've been doing, to your family member, talking about them and all the stuff. And it's like, I wouldn't be too friendly with you either. And Tisha said, I don't, you don't need her in my life
Exactly.
anymore.
Tisha is Kiki. I like Kiki. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a fan of Kiki, but I think she needs to learn how to keep quiet. She needs
What?
to
What do
learn
you
how
mean?
to she needs to learn how to overlook some certain things. Just look
What do you
past and
mean?
just move on.
What do you mean? She rarely goes online. We rarely see her do interviews. What do you mean?
Kiki, I don't know. During all the situation, I don't know. She has been in a hot mess for a while right now.
I'm just joking.
So she needs to just like keep quiet, just ignore, and just just in short, generally keep quiet and
Like,
ignore. We're
yeah,
here.
just got caught up in this whole reality TV thing, and
Exactly.
now I'm sure
I
she
think it
probably
was too
understands
much for
it's
her.
too much for her, and now she sees why some people don't like Tisha and Mark. When does Tisha ever go live? Very rarely has she gone live.
Huh?
I think the last live we saw with her was when she and Marceau were standing outside talking about building the hotel. Or maybe no, when they were
Mm-hmm.
at the Houston trip, when they were at the pool party. It's like,
Yes.
yeah, it's like there's a reason why
Yeah,
these
her
people,
birthday, right?
her birthday? Was that her birthday?
She
Oh, when
did.
they were
Okay,
in
no, no.
LA. I take that back. When
Yeah,
they were in LA.
for the
Okay.
reunion, yes. So they hardly come live because even Tisha knows that she's not liked. And she knows that any small thing that she says will be used against her.
Exactly.
She tries to be mindful of what she says, how she says, in short, how many times she talks. So
So
I think
obviously this
that
lady did not get the memo.
Exactly. Kiki didn't get the memo because right now she's being roasted, and it's painful to me because I do like Kiki, and it's painful that I have to watch her get roasted, get disgraced, get embarrassed online like she is. It's painful to me for me to watch because I'm a fan of Kiki. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I need to really dislike this lady, but I don't, you know, find any reason to really dislike her like that. So it's really painful to me to watch everything unfold where it has unfolded like for the past few days, few weeks for her.
Now, what
And
about the counseling session? I didn't. I was waiting for that. Like that's all
exactly,
that we got, unless they're going to show
I
something
wasn't.
next week.
I was like, what with this whole horse riding thing was like, what the heck was going on
And it went on
here?
for too long. We did not need to see them
Two,
riding those horses and playing with lassos. Where was the content? I was waiting for this explosive counseling session. And then I don't even remember how it ended. Like the lady said, "Oh, you guys seem to be so tense." I don't even remember how it ended. It was a complete
the
waste of
fact,
time.
you know what? It's because of um probably why I felt it was a waste of time for me was because I have watched the gossips that was being said online, right? I've watched people say, "Oh, the counseling session was explosive." Some things that was when they said things happened, you know. So I wanted to see what exactly happened. I was like, "Okay, okay, thank God." And I was like, "Is that all?" We got to hear that Kiki and Melody are trying to be cordial. Is that it? We
Yeah.
got to hear that her state clearly that she did not know Kiki was coming. All she knew was that, oh, I did tell her about it, but I didn't talk to her after that to confirm whether she was coming or not. What else? What
Uh,
else?
does Chris Fletcher say more than 20 words per episode? That's another question too. He's very
Exactly.
handsome, but what else does he say and do?
So
And
I'm like,
Courtney too. But at least Courtney doesn't try to be all in every scene.
yeah. I'm like, so all these gossips, all these rumors, all this, I have first-hand information just for nothing.
Just for nothing. Unless they're going to show us more next week. If they're not going to show
I'm
us more
hoping.
next week, then
One thing is that I would hate for them to spoil my New Year celebration with that episode because I already saw the preview and I'm disappointed. I literally don't want to see Stormy's family whole family dynamics. I
again, yeah.
don't. I literally when I saw it, I was like, no, not on New Year's. I don't want to see it. I don't. Then I have to see that. I would have even appreciated if this is the season finale and next week I'm seeing the reunion. I don't mind.
Right.
Then for me to go and see that whole episode to be about Stormy and her family dynamic, I don't literally care. Then again, back. Thank God we talked about the preview. Apart from Stormy's family dynamics, did you see when Tiffany? Sorry, I said Tiffany. How Kimmy said, during my cancer, I lost my hair, right? And she said the comments about it were not great. I'm like, did you, I don't know whether maybe I was under a rock or probably I am in the Stone Age. Did people condemn Kiki when she had cancer? Because if I can remember, that was the time Kiki was most loved.
And
Everybody was
supported.
always on a
And
comments
supported.
on
Yeah.
a comment section like, oh,
Right.
we stand by you, we love you, keep on going. People was always, in short, people tried not to talk about Kimmy in a bad light when they were talking about when they were reviewing.
That's true. Yeah.
I can remember when I watch people's YouTube videos, I know that a lot of people tried not to be very brutal with Kiki when they were reviewing the show. Now I don't understand what statement she meant by the comment of on her hair where like probably maybe the edit I'm just like looking like maybe the editors are trying to play a fast trick on us because if there's one thing I know is that Kimi was the most loved at that period. She got love from everybody. The fan base came together to celebrate her, to console her, to be there for every milestone she broke. So I don't understand where she's going with this thing of saying the comment over her hair was like,
Was she
something is
talking
not adding
about
up.
the comments from viewers, or was she talking about it from her husband? I need to go watch that scene again.
That's the thing, the editors they didn't finish the statement. So I'm just saying, let it be that maybe the comment from her husband. That is what I would appreciate. But if she's talking about comment from the viewers, I'll be like, no, this is a storyline that I don't want you to go because it's gonna turn out bad for them because it's
Yes, it
gonna be like
is.
everybody came together for you at that time when you needed us. We loved you, we cherished you, we were there for you, and you are like coming to like throw back that love, throw back that cherishedness, throw back the courage we had for you, the prayers we all prayed for you. You just threw it back to our face. I'm just praying that he doesn't do that because we know one thing about the Scots is that they can do anything for a story. They can sell out whoever they want to sell out for a story. So I'm literally praying that that is not the route she's going. That probably she just wants to talk to her husband about maybe the comments he was making to her that she didn't like it. Because
Well,
I know he can do that.
I just watched it just
Yeah.
now, and she said the comments about that she didn't look the same is what she just said. I just listened to it. But yeah, she shouldn't go that route because people were being very supportive. I remember because even when I was reviewing, I didn't even review her scenes at all
I,
because I was
I did
conscientious
not
about
talk
that.
about her.
Yeah, nobody was calling them boring. Nobody was saying, the usual stuff that people
Exactly.
say about them. Nobody talked about that couple. Bike riding,
Every
didn't
time I
talk
even
about
talk
that
about
couple.
her, it's maybe they show a special moment about her and the cancer. I'll be like, my prayers my thoughts are with Kimmy. I hope she has quick recovery. That is the only thing I kept on saying about Kimmy.
Right.
Every time. I hope she has a quick recovery. Every single time. That was what I said. So I literally hope she doesn't go there. I hope. But I don't know. They say this is a season finale, right? What happens to Stormy's party? Because we remember they
Did
said
they say it was a
Stormy's.
season finale? Did they say that? Who
No,
said
some people
that?
were speculating. No, this is the last episode. Next week's episode is gonna be the last. Then we have reunion.
Really? So what
Yes, if
about
you
the
check the
pastor
calendar.
party?
That's what I was confused about. When I did go to check on their calendar, I saw the next week's episode was going to be the last episode. Then the next one we're going to be having is the reunion part one. So I was totally confused because if I can remember, they said the pasture party was literally the season finale. So what is going to be happening? Like I'm confused right now. What is going on? Carlos, what is going on? The one married Huntsville, what is going on? It's giving me confusion.
Why do you
Huh?
guys think that that's the last episode? Because it doesn't even say. It's just, they only, well, why do you guys think that that's the last episode next week?
When are you checking from Google?
Yeah, I'm checking it, but they usually only just show 1 week at a time. When I ever check the
No,
episode guide, it just shows like the next week. It never shows like more than 1 week at a time. The site that I go on, which site do you use?
I'm just using probably let me see if I can share um my screen. Literally. Sorry. Are you saying it? Are you saying it? ShopRite, are you saying it?
Yes, and that's the one that I see too, but whenever I check it, they only show one new episode at a time. They never show like 3 episodes in the future. They only just show the next week. Just like it's showing the next week. They never seem to show more than that.
But now they're showing it. This is the last episode. Then the next one by January 6th is
Can you make it larger?
reunion.
Where does it say
This is like
reunion?
look at here.
Make it
Reunion part
larger.
one.
Make it larger. I can't see. It's very small.
It's very small. Are you
Okay.
saying it now?
Yeah, but I can't see the date. Does that say January the 4th?
January the 6th.
Oh, okay. Reunion part 1. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So
Yeah, you're right. What happened to the pasture party?
exactly. That's my question. What happened? What happened? Because I'm confused. Well, uh, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, let's see how that is gonna play out. Well, I literally am not. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not anticipating for next week's episode because I don't. I don't like seeing Kiki's family or I'm sorry, Stormy's family. I'm not interested in whatever that's going on now right there at all. Well, is there any other thing
Wow.
you want to add on? Because for me, I
No,
think
there's
I'm
nothing.
done.
Yeah, I think I'm done too. Thank you so much. I enjoyed that once again. I appreciate you for allowing us to join you this season. And thank you so
Oh,
much.
I appreciate you too for joining us
Yeah.
too. We're almost end of the year right now. Like, wow, it's been great. Well, guys, thank you very much for watching along with us. For the people in the comment section, thank you very much for commenting and chatting up with us. And those that watched the video along with us, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Unfiltered Uzo, and also Shop Reality TV. We'll see you guys same time next week. Have a nice day.